with something of that determination. She was a woman who knew what had to be done and determined to follow through in things. This determination served her well in life. Way back as a young woman, she had a lot of spunk, as the kids say. She was even somewhat fearless. And yet Suzanne, with that signal look of hers, it came firstly as being stern or serious, and then in a flash, it issued out in the warmest of smiles. She radiated not only strength and determination, but warmth and goodness. That was Suzanne. Suzanne, in so many ways, did not have an easy life. She suffered from reversal. Some of her relationships, things didn't always work out for her as she hoped for herself, and for those she loved. One of her great reversals, as we all know, as you all know who loved her so much, was the death of her infant son, Christopher. It marked Suzanne for life. She changed. Such was her pain, her grief, that it colored her wonderful spirit of determination and strength of character and mind. Still, so much of who Suzanne always was remained. The Baxter kids, John and Anne, are so crestfallen by her passing that they have trouble speaking of her without recalling her solicitude for them, for their brother Paul, her interventions for their well-being, her wisdom, her wise mentoring, and then, as always, her lightheartedness and mischievousness. They are forever grateful to her for all of this in their lives today. How much more are these sentiments felt by the three children of hers and these, Jason, Angela, and Elizabeth? They were the beneficiaries of her wise wisdom and her counsel and her affection and her love. It was all given to them in heavy doses, like strong medicine. And after taking it in, you immeasurably felt better and knew it was all good for you. Suzanne impressed upon her children the one lesson for which they had followed so beautifully. So important to her to stay close, to love your children, to be there for them, to be proud of them, to love them, all of which she did for them. Suzanne had so many other qualities which should be honored. Circumstances of her life made her independent, with a mind of her own. She was very competent and capable. She kept lifelong friendships away and back here in St. John, which for her was always home. And she treasured these friendships and reached out to them with generosity and kindness. These last weeks, when she arrived at hospice, after having gone through over the years different health challenges which she so courageously faced and overcame, what we found was that same determined, strong, and disarming Suzanne Allen, like the little girl the family always knew. Witty, somewhat irreverent, somewhat mischievous, throwing things, but warm and endearing. Always the most beautiful of smiles. Be grateful, my dear Whalen family, that you had such a wonderful mother. She gave you so much. So much of who she was will live on in you, in your children, in your hearts. Treasure it all as precious. It was all not only from her, it was also from God.